Speaking of Lent, it's Lent.
It is Lent. Hey.
Welcome. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
That's
There
right. Are
we
you guys
go.
giving up anything for Lent?
Oh, man. I should give something up for Lent. I don't know what yet.
Are you
though.
Catholic?
No.
Okay.
But just for like a good, test yourself. It's a discipline thing. It's a good excuse.
I guess I'll give up something.
Are you going to give it up?
I'm gonna give up pussy.
You're going to give up pussy for
Give
Lent?
it up.
Is that going to be really hard for you?
For pussy. So give it up. Do you hear the song that I'm singing?
I do hear the song you're singing.
I'm gonna give up pussy. So give it up for pussy.
Wow.
Is it good?
It's great.
Is it good?
It's great.
Oscar Wilde.
We need a beat.
Dude, I think Oscar and I would have been great friends.
I bet you would have.
That guy was
Definitely.
a catty
I
man.
think he really would have enjoyed your company.
That's really nice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to Seasoned Vets. I'm Martin Henn.
I'm Colton.
We got Jimmy Clifford here as well.
Jimmy, are you giving up anything for Lent?
I'm not giving up anything, but I'm going to add something for Lent.
What are you
I'm just
gonna
going
add?
to work out every day of Lent.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Did
You're
you work
gonna-
out today?
Not yet after this.
Oh, got you. All right, great.
What are you? I think I might do testosterone.
There you go.
Well, is cum testosterone?
Testosterone cycle.
No, I think I might do it. But
Is
Dylan,
cum testosterone?
that was a side question. If you didn't have to answer it, Dylan and I were worried that we might start fighting if I start taking testosterone.
You and Dylan Carlino will start
Yeah.
fighing?
I
Why?
guess
Because
I-
you're already so feisty?
Well, what happened was Holly Johnson told me I have gay voice. And I was like, I think I could smudge that out or whatever.
Do you think you have low T as it is?
I think I have fine tea.
I mean, I feel like your dad is all about his tea. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my dad has fine tea.
What? Oh my
genes.
God! What about that? What about you and your dad just both take tea
You guys
all
should-
of Lent and see what happens to you two?
God, the
All
news
of
would
Lent?
get so angry. You guys should go get blood work done together, though, and see who has higher testosterone between you and your dad.
Well, he's 65.
Yeah, but I mean,
He's a high T individual.
I feel like he still might beat you out.
Really? You
I
think
think-
I have low T? Look
I-
at this mustache.
I
You think
think-
this mustache has low T?
You should ask your dad who you think has higher testosterone between you and him, and I think he might be like, "Yeah, I'll fucking crush you, dude."
Yo,
Shoot, dude.
it's not
I'm
that
gonna
you
be-
have
What
low
if I
T.
turn?
It's that your dad pities the fool and he's Mr. T.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He has
is,
a lot.
He is the T.
Is
He's
that
a
what
capital
T stands for, Mr. T?
Yeah.
Mr.
It's
Testosterone.
testosterone?
Yeah, it for sure is.
yeah. Yeah. I want a men's health org to sponsor us.
Oh,
Can you tape that up again?
yeah.
Having problems staying up? Men's health.
Green screen's got low T.
I think that I'm also looking to get a little bit bigger. Dylan told me also I'll get more followers if I'm hotter. So
There
I'm
you
going to go for that too.
There you go. Well, good luck with that.
Thanks.
That
What's
sounds
your-
good. You took
your-
the braids out. I think that's a good start.
That's a good start?
Yeah.
I've been learning how to do it myself.
Oh my god.
You should just go after all of Matteo Lane's followers.
Go after them?
Yeah, just
If
follow.
you like this Italian song, you should hear my pussy song.
yeah. You just do it with an Italian accent. Can
Give
you
it
do that?
up. Give it up for pussy. That's a little Filipino. Give it up. Give it up for poo. Boy. We got
You guys ready?
an awesome episode for you guys
So
today.
excited.
This is a follow-up.
Concerning everybody's favorite bisexual, Dennis Rodman.
I was going to say Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders for sure hasn't done gay stuff. Well, maybe a little gay stuff.
I feel like if he did gay shit, he's definitely like I'll never say it to anyone.
Oh yeah, and he's not bottoming. He's prime time.
Yeah.
Prime time is a top.
Prime time?
Yeah, if your nickname is prime time, you're not getting penetrated.
I didn't know that was his nickname. I thought you were just calling topic prime time, which I think is that works.
It is. You're the star of the show, right?
Welcome. I feel like right before you go and you go, welcome to prime time. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
That
how
works.
it goes. A little theme song and stuff. So yeah, we left off. Dennis Rodman had just gotten traded to the Bulls. It was a great fit for Dennis Rodman. He had a coach that understood him with Phil Jackson. He was a key piece on a winning team, and his skill set was perfect with like Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. He was able to kind of do everything, all the dirty work that they needed the team to do. He had a ton of success on the court for Chicago. He made an all-defense first team. He had multiple rebounding titles and, of course, 3 consecutive championships. He was a member of the 72-10 95-96 team, which is regarded as maybe the greatest team of all time. And that year, the Supersonics head coach, George Karl, credited Rodman for being the difference in winning the NBA Finals. But, of course, we're not here to talk about all the good shit that he did when he played basketball. We're here to talk about all the other shit. So Dennis Rodman's time in Chicago, he was there for like 4 years, and his time was crazy. He did a bunch of wild shit while he was there. One of the first things that was kind of controversial or public that Rodman did was he married himself in 1996.
Are you allowed to do that?
He tried. He tried to do it like through the state of New York. So he was coming out with his memoirs, which is called Bad As I Wanna Be. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to do a big publicity stunt. So he told everybody he was going to marry someone on Fifth Avenue in the Barnes & Noble, which is just romantic, you know? So everybody thought it was this stripper that he was dating who lived in New York. But then this carriage showed up on Fifth Avenue, and there's this 6'7" black dude in a wedding dress just in the carriage. And it became like this huge fanfare. People started hearing about it. The streets were like crowded. They had to block it off for him. Mm-hmm. He flew in a makeup artist from London and got like a specially made dress. I think the whole production cost over like, I think it was between like $10,000 and $15,000. But this is like 1996. $10,000 is like way, it's like $150 million in current money.
Wow.
Yeah.
My parents used
deal.
to be really rich.
It was a big deal, dude.
They lost a lot of money since then. I feel like a wedding, I think, because my brother's getting married in July, and I think that he's spending easily that much money.
Yeah. It was like a whole affair. And it's also like, you got to remember it's 1996. So being like a prominent, popular male athlete and then coming out in a full like feminine makeup and a wedding dress, it's like, it's something that nobody else, he was breaking ground, something nobody else had been doing.
What's the Caitlyn Jenner? Do you think Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce at the time was looking at that but like, it's not a joke. It's, you know, like.
It's a culture, not a costume.
Yeah. You know, like, oh God, this fucking guy. Or do you think it was like, I wish I was as brave as him to wear a dress in public?
I think it was more envy. Yeah, I think it was more like, I want to be Dennis Rodman.
Me too, a little bit.
He was, I mean,
I
the
think
guy.
I think this guy is fucking cool.
There's a lot of people that argue that Dennis Rodman was as popular as Michael Jordan in his stretch with the Bulls.
Was it a pretty dress?
It was a relatively nice dress. Yeah. There's like some photos of it and stuff. I put a link in our group chat so you have access to those pretty good. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like looked pretty good for a dude in 96. He had a nice little wig going. This is him right here. Had a nice little wig going and everything like that. Very expensive, traditional all-white wedding dress. And
and the wig though.
Yeah, and the wig. He was crushing it. And this was also the time where Dennis Rodman came out and kind of started talking about his time in drag. So, like we talked about in the first episode, Dennis Rodman grew up with 2 sisters. His dad wasn't there and his mom was barely home. So they would like put him in makeup and like put him in girls' clothes and stuff like that, earrings, jewelry, shit like that. And it was just something they always kind of did. And then I think it elevated a little bit in high school. And then he wound up coming back to it, you know, and it was just a thing that like, it just never really tripped him out. I think Dennis Rodman's one of those people that gets off on being like, I can hang out with anybody. You know, I think he really likes being that like, yeah, I'll hang out at gay clubs, but I'm not gay, you know?
Right.
I think he really loves being that guy where it's like you can't live a lifestyle that makes me uncomfortable, but I can live a lifestyle that makes you uncomfortable. I think he enjoys that dynamic.
He's like Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, he is a real Ferris Bueller. It's true.
In what way?
He can hang out with everyone.
Yeah, everybody loved Ferris Bueller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a great
Except
a great
the
comparison.
principal, who was always wondering where he was.
Yeah, it was Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is
He
Rooney.
was the principal. We'll get to that later. that actually happens.
Ben Nye.
Ben Stein was the teacher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so much of like assumed symbology and just like what people do and wear. Like a dress is literally just fabric, but we're like, but does it mean something else? And he's like, if you wanted to, like this is gonna piss somebody off, but literally it means nothing.
He was like, it's so wild because you hear him talk now and you're like, this is an insane person. But looking back at some of the stuff he was doing, and he really was ahead of his time in the way of like just this freedom of expression that he exhibited in this very like kind of structured discipline, career field. Mm-hmm. He was the beginning of that. Like, no, you don't have to be, an all-American, straight-laced guy just to be talented and popular and relevant. Like, you could be a good basketball player and be this, tattooed, pierced up, sexually fluid figure. Can be independent things.
I guess he had that skill to go back on though. Like you couldn't just go out there and go and do that.
He wasn't just a publicity stunt, you know. It was definitely like he's a very relevant player. But it is funny. So he came out through this whole thing as mentally bisexual too, where he says he's mentally bisexual as in I don't do gay shit, but I have been attracted to men before. And it's like, okay, all right, buddy, sure.
Wait, you're saying that he's physical bisexual too?
Come on.
What do you mean?
Who comes out as mentally bisexual?
Chris DiStefano did.
What's that?
Chris DiStefano, he always says, he goes, I fall in love with men, but I have sex with women. That's what he said.
What do you say about that? That's your hero,
I think he's done
isn't
some
it?
Gay shit too.
Chrissy D?
Yeah, Chris to stuff it in my button. No,
Why button? Don't call it a button.
Jesus
Christ!
It is.
This is why we don't let straight men have sex.
Speaking of which, okay, so in the book, Rodman goes out of his way to talk about how not gay he's been in the past, like multiple times. Talks about how not gay he is.
Yeah.
And he tells a story because he was with Carmen Electra for a while, and like the late 90s, and he tells this story about how Carmen Electra tried to put a bunch of dry pasta in his ass while he was passed out face down. And he's like, she got some of that penne in me, and I got up like, what the fuck? He's like really mad about it, and then he called his asshole his castle. He goes, you don't just put things in a man's castle.
Why did she want to
Dry penne pasta is sharp.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I don't know what she was thinking.
Right. What was she thinking?
I don't
It was
know.
penne?
Penne.
So it's like short too. She was just stuffing it up there like a little coin slot?
I think she took like a fist of it and tried to like...
No.
Penne.
Penne.
That's spaghetti.
Penne.
Yeah, I
it's
think
a little
she took...
tube.
I know, the little tube ones. I think she took like a couple of the tubes and tried to put them all in there at once.
No.
That
she
doesn't
didn't.
make...
Maybe one at a time, but she did not grab a bundle of penne.
This is a
You've
6
never
foot
seen-
8. This
you've
is a
never
6 foot
seen
8
a bundle
asshole.
of penne.
This is a 6
You
foot
would
8
have to
asshole.
make a penne bundle.
Why do you keep saying
Penne
penne?
doesn't-
It's
What are you
penne.
saying? What are you saying?
Penne.
Penne.
What am I saying?
Penne.
You're saying it like Jenny.
No, you're saying it like
You're
Oh,
Jenny.
I am saying it like that.
you are.
What, and the correct.
Penne.
Penne. And you're
Penne.
saying penne.
Yeah.
I'm saying penne.
Yeah. It's
And that's-
penne.
Penne.
The inflection is on the first E. Penne. You're saying penne.
No, it's not. It's penne.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's
Wait,
penne.
you guys speak Italian?
Do you?
Penne.
All right, whatever. It's a French word, anyways, asshole. I don't know that, but it could be true. Penne.
Penne alla vodka.
Jenny.
So the stunt actually wound up working out. Rodman got a bunch of attention on the book, and Bad as I Wanna Be was on the bestseller list for over
I
4
thought you were
months.
saying the penne pasta stunt.
Penne
The
pasta
penne pasta
really
stunt.
worked out.
Thanks, Electra.
Yeah, he started his own Italian restaurant. All right, it was really
Yo,
everything was turning up Rodman after the Penne incident.
I'm going to have a conspiracy theory to throw at you. 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah,
Not poop. Pudding. I
Whoa.
bet they douched their whole butt out, and then they put pudding up there, and then it was just pudding. And so it actually wasn't that impressive.
what's your basis for this?
It's
What's
still-
your why?
What?
Why do you think this?
Because it's
Poop is gross?
impossible. Yeah, because poop is gross. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Poop is gross.
It is gross.
Yeah, and so I bet it was just
Get it
pudding.
away from me.
And that's what I actually think that we could, if we wanted to, start a whole like ass treats line where you put it pudding up your own ass and share that with your partner as merch.
When you say we, is it the three of us are starting this line?
It's a merch. You don't have to do it.
What are the flavors?
Chocolate?
Nacho cheese?
How is nacho cheese worse than chocolate?
Because
it just is.
Because nacho cheese is fucking goopy as hell. It has those little chunks in it too. That is so gross.
The dumbest fucking idea you've ever had in your life.
New merch. I'm always on the lookout for new merch, you know? I'm going to call up Alibaba, see if they got something for us.
Honey mustard?
Okay. I feel like that's more normal than nacho goddamn cheese. Damn it. That's nacho cheese. That's nacho cheese.
It is somebody's cheese.
Okay, so the stunt worked out.
Stunt worked out. The next year, Rodman got in a little bit of trouble. He was in the headlines because he wound up kicking a cameraman in the crotch. So he was going for like a hustle rebound on the baseline, like where the basket is, right? Mm-hmm. And all the cameramen sit in the front row. They're like seated on the floor, and they're taking pictures or video of the game. And Rodman kind of tripped over a cameraman, and when he tripped over him, he turned around and just like kicks him right in the groin. And he kicked the guy so hard in the balls that he fainted and his back started to hurt.
He fainted and then his back started to hurt?
Yeah, when he came back to consciousness, he's like, my back hurts. And they had
No, it was your balls, Jeff. It was your balls.
That's how hard he kicked him.
You fucking moron.
They had to take the guy out on a stretcher, and they put him in an ambulance and sent him to the hospital.
Probably his kidneys.
He had
Is
to
that
stay
what's
over the
happening?
night in the hospital. Yeah. So he wound up. He was okay. He wound up being okay. Rodman was fined $25,000, which at the time was a record for the NBA. Nobody had ever been fined that much, and he was suspended for 11 games. He also settled out of court with the photographer Eugene Amos for about $200,000. All in all, the kick to the groin cost Rodman about $1 million between like losing game checks, his fines, his court costs, and settling out of court.
What about that photographer's kid? Does he look at him sometimes and like, damn, I should ask for more money?
Because it's the only kid he'll ever be able to have? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. Does he have kids?
I didn't look into whether Eugene Amos has kids or not.
Jesus, we need these
The
answers.
impossible
How are we going to get a
questions.
whole story?
My
you know?
question to you, okay, so the guy got $200,000 for it, right?
Would I get kicked in the nuts for $200,000?
Would you guys do it? $200K, you get kicked so hard in the balls that you faint and you have to go to the hospital.
I think it depends when you asked me in my life, like at what point I'm at. If I'm in college or if I'm in high school, for sure no.
Yeah.
Now, yes.
I think 1,000,000%, yeah. Why, when you were younger, wouldn't you do it?
Because it's like, I didn't really need it.
Yeah, okay. You
know
weren't
what I
worried
mean?
about money at that
People
point?
were paying for my shit. I don't what do I care?
Right.
But now, I would spread them.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
200K.
I'll tell
easy.
you what.
Easy.
In high school, I would have done it, and now I would have done it. The only thing now is I would hope that he would spit on me afterwards, too. You know, that if I pass out, I hope that my mouth's open, but that's just a hope. Jackass was relevant, you know, when I was in middle school, high school. We were doing shit like, you know those spring horse things? We were pulling those back and fucking smacking each other in the dick.
God.
We weren't even filming.
We would do like the nut taps in high school for sure.
Yeah, we were
try
fucking
to, like,
smashing each other in the dick.
Yeah.
I
It
mean-
does fucking, it is serious pain. Like
Right.
The proper nut shot where you like feel it in your stomach afterwards.
It's just there's no other move that could just drop somebody real fucking fast.
Soul crushing.
One time I was playing lacrosse and I did not wear a cup when I played lacrosse. And this one kid, he had a 90-mile-an-hour fast shot. He whipped it at the goal, hit me directly in the balls. I immediately fell to the ground. And then after like 2 seconds, I jumped up and I just started taking laps around the field.
Yeah.
And my coach is like, "What are you doing?" And I just screamed, "I'm running away from the pain."
Yeah.
I tried to get away from it, but it followed.
Oh, God. That's fucking brutal.
There's nothing you really can do. And that's why I think it's even with the pregnancy birth thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's the same thing.
For $200,000, I wouldn't have a baby, though.
You wouldn't have a baby for $200K?
It would ruin your figure.
Yeah, are you worried about stretch marks?
I don't know. I don't know all the repercussions.
Let's say it comes out of your butt, and after like 3 months, everything's kind of healed up back to normal.
3 months?
Yeah, so it's like a full year where you carry the baby for 9 months, and then you have 3 months of recovery.
Yes, only because I'll be able to do so many jokes with it.
It'd be so easy. Yeah,
Comedy.
You'd be the first
easiest.
pregnant man. You don't even have to write the jokes.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what, women, and it would be a lot of misogyny.
Yeah, you go up there with like candy cigarettes, and you're just like, nah, I'm kidding. And you're like, yeah, this
Would
is so hard.
Would you do the special pregnant, or would you wait until afterwards?
No, you got to do it pregnant.
You got to do it pregnant.
You gotta do it. No, I do it before, after. There's
3 specials?
yeah, it's gonna be 3 specials. It's gonna be called
Absolutely.
3 specials. 3 trimester is what it's gonna be called.
It's called Pregnancy the Musical. All right.
Yeah, the first one is gonna be about abortion. Solamente. Solamente.
That's so
Yeah.
fucking funny.
So yeah, I guess you're right. I would do it for $200,000 or free.
Oh man. So the next season, Rodman kept up with his antics. In the middle of the '98 season, Rodman was kind of burned out. He had taken on more responsibility that year because once Scottie Pippen was hurt and like refusing to play for the Bulls. So Rodman was kind of doing a little bit more. Scottie Pippen wound up coming back in February, and then he went to the head coach and was just like, "I need a break." And the head coach was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want to go on vacation." And Phil Jackson is like, "But we've got games." He goes, I know, but I don't want to play in them for a little bit." And he's like, "Well, can you take like 2 days off?" He goes, "Yeah, for sure. I'll take 2 days off." And Dennis Rodman goes to Vegas for like 5 days.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 5 months.
And it just like disappears for like almost a week. And he's just getting fucked up. His drinking prowess is as impressive as the way he plays basketball. Like Dennis Rodman's alcoholic days are fucking wild. He would wake up and just drink all day, and then he would go to bed at like 3 in the morning, and he'd wake up at like 8:30 in the morning the next day and go play basketball. And during this time, it's not like he's a slouch. Like he's winning rebounding titles. He's like getting more rebounds than anybody else in the league hungover. He was just like, he has to have some kind of like Asperger's or like autism shit where he just understands a certain aspect of basketball. Like he understands how to like rebound and like the angle of a ball in a way that's just like, it's like a savant quality.
Well, he talks about that, doesn't he? Like he was able to like guess where the ball was going to come down after being shot. Like that was one of his biggest things.
And he would like, so him and his buddies would drink all night, right? And then they'd go back to his house at like 3:30 in the morning, and he's got like a basketball court or whatever. Or they'd go to a basketball court at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and he would just make them take jump shots for like 3 hours, and he would just practice rebounding all their misses.
Oh, his non-professional friends?
Right. He would go to the gay bar and he would get a bunch of guys and he'd be like, "Hey, just do your best."
Yeah.
And I'll pick up all the
Honestly,
messes.
I could I used to tell my brother that because I can't really throw overhand. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, "Yeah, this is helping your catching, dude, because I can't throw."
Because you're just so rough at it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was one night, one of the stories was he was at a bar, and of course, like he's Dennis Rodman, so everybody was buying him drinks, right? There was one night somebody kept count, and he took 40 Jaeger shots in a night, and they had a game the next day. He was up by 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. It was like his agent was with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of his handlers, his agent or his security guard. I can't remember which. So I didn't. What?
Jaeger shots.
Jaeger shots. Like literally the
That's
most
not even like
disgusting
tequila.
liquor.
That's rough. That's like motor oil.
It's fucking terrible.
No.
That's
No. Jaeger is good for your stomach.
gut rot. Not 40 shots of it. Not a bottle of it.
Right, but 40 shots of Jaeger is probably more doable than 40 shots of tequila. And we could even just make this 10 shots of Jaeger, 10 shots of tequila. I think you're doing 10 shots of Jaeger.
I do tequila over Jaeger.
Oof. Yeah, apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges. I want both.
All right.
My dad told me that he could tell the difference between vodkas. And I was like, all right. We're at an all-inclusive resort. So I was like, we'll fucking do a taste test
Yeah,
right
let's do a
now.
flight. Yeah,
he
let's
goes,
do a
I
flight.
can tell the difference between Tito's and Belvedere. It's like, what do you...
Okay.
What the fuck is that, Belvedere? What's happening here? I was like, all right, so let's order. We can only do it. We're gonna do it right statistically. So we ordered 15 shots of both.
Uh-huh.
He didn't do them.
Oh, lame.
Yeah,
Lame.
because his girlfriend was like, "Your dad is gonna die." I was like, fine, good point.
So Rodman's in Vegas at this point, and he's just getting fucking hammered every night. He's with Carmen Electra, so it's him and Carmen Electra in Vegas. And they interviewed her, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't really know what the NBA schedule is, so I just thought he had time off. Like she didn't even know he was like skipping out on work to do this." And then at one point, it's the morning, and there's a knock on the door, and it's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan just comes out to Vegas and goes to the hotel room. And Carmen Electra sees it's him, and she, like, hides behind a couch. She, like, puts a blanket on top of her and, like, hides behind a couch. And Jordan goes, I'm not going to say who was in that room or what was going on, but I got in there. I go, Dennis, you got to go play basketball. And so they, like, him and Phil Jackson, like, physically pulled him out of Vegas, and we're like, okay, it's time to get back into basketball. And Jordan tells a story about, like, his second day back in practice. They're running this drill where it's like everybody's running laps, and the goal is to catch the guy who is outrunning everybody, right? So the idea is everybody's running at the same pace, right? It's like a team exercise. And so they're playing like back-to-backs or whatever. The whole team's tired. So Jordan's telling everybody, like, all right, hey, listen, these two guys are going to go out in front. We're going to hit a jog. It's going to be fine, right? And it's Rodman's like third day back from Vegas. Rodman just takes off and just starts sprinting ahead of everybody. And it took the rest of the team like 4 laps, which is like a third of a mile, to catch back up to Dennis Rodman after he just went out binge drinking for like 4 days. He's kind of a fucking legend. He's kind of a badass. It's awesome. But there wasn't a lot of stories I could find about his time in Vegas, but Rodman in 2021, after this Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, came out, after this story came out, somebody bought the story from him. And so now, I can't remember what movie.
Wait, the running story?
No, the the Vegas story.
Oh, okay.
Somebody bought the Vegas story from him. So they are actually like writing a movie and optioning it, and it's going to be like The Hangover, Dennis Rodman style.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to make a movie about this time that he took off.
Does The Hangover hold up?
Is it funny still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's still funny.
Is it allowed?
Yeah.
It's allowed.
No.
Wait, what kind of... I mean, I know that that faggot is said in
Yeah.
the first, like...
In the trailer.
Yeah, in the trailer.
Yeah.
They literally said paging Dr. Faggot in the trailer.
In
the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other groups targeted?
Asians, right?
Yeah, Asians.
With Ken Jeong being...
Little people.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
he's being it.
They say retard the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been...
Retard. That's
Yeah.
right, I remember that.
And that's not okay in most places. I feel like it's becoming okay again, or do I just live at the creek?
You live at the creek.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. Good to know. Good to know.
There's a lot of words that I think are slowly on the comeback because of comedians. Like if you listen to, Mark Norman, Shane Gillis, any of those type of guys, they'll say it. They don't care. And I think that's why like a lot of the younger kids, like Gen Z, they actually don't care. Because the thing about Gen Z that I love is they don't care about anything.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
What do they like?
I mean, they love Andrew Tate, so like they're just super
they
misogynist.
do like Andrew Tate.
Yeah. They're, like it's a big problem apparently with elementary school and like middle schoolers.
Elementary
Andrew
school?
Tate?
Yeah, like there was a bunch of articles.
Okay, it's because he's on TikTok. He's like big on TikTok.
Yeah, he's on
right?
TikTok, so they're all listening to it, and like these middle school kids are like, they're in the back of class and their teacher's like talking about whatever, and they're like, "Fucking beta, you're a fucking beta."
Yeah, that is funny.
It's so
That's
funny.
hilarious.
And so there's articles about like what to do if you're a middle school teacher about Andrew Tate.
What to do if you're getting emasculated by 12-year-olds?
It's so funny. They're like, "Have you ever heard the song Running Up the Hill?" Well, that's a great song about female empowerment. Maybe put that on for your kids and then show the... It's like, shut the fuck up.
It's
You
ridiculous.
can't fight that with, how about the other thing? You
Yeah.
have to punch them
Yeah. Punch them right in the mouth. Absolutely.
right in their alpha mouth. Somebody else should do it. I feel like people call me beta. I go, yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty affable.
Well, didn't they determine too that the whole like alpha wolf concept isn't actually true? Like that's not a real thing
No.
that wolves do.
Absolutely not.
That is a thing they do, or you're agreeing with? Are you agreeing with me or disagreeing with me?
Both. Both. Because I want you to be right.
No,
want
I
you
thought
to
somebody
feel-
came out and like disproved the like alpha wolf theory that there isn't really like a leader of the pack for like wolves.
Yeah, because how on earth would he disseminate the information? All right, tell everybody that the new law is no shitting in the cave. Like, how would an alpha disseminate that information?
Be an alpha wolf?
Just like
Killing the beta
that guy
wolf?
will bite you if he comes around. That I believe. I believe some wolves are assholes. But I don't think that there's a leader of. I think that they all kind of work together.
They do. Yeah.
But gorillas don't. Gorillas definitely have alphas.
There's an alpha gorilla?
Yeah.
Really?
And if another gorilla is like the same age or like close to it, they'll kill him.
Oh.
Right, but the perks of being an alpha gorilla are like, and then I'll dance and beat my chest over here, and no one else is allowed to do that.
Oh, man.
It's not. You don't get a lot of perks. So it's mostly like dancing and a lot of responsibility.
dance
a lot
over
of
here.
responsibility. If there's another guy that's like, I'm gonna fucking kill everyone, they're like, hey Jeff,
Yeah.
you know how you like to dance?
Earn your keep. It's time to earn your dance floor. You know?
Right.
Throw it on the cardboard.
That's where the movie Dance Fights came from.
Dance fights? Is that
I can't
a
remember
movie?
the movie's name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Stomp the Yard.
Served. You got served.
You Got Served. Oh, great dance movie.
Yeah,
Loved You
yeah.
Got Served.
That's what it was about. I don't think I'm allowed to say
Yeah,
that.
careful. Careful. Rein it in, dude. Fucking rein it in. Oh. Woo.
Wait, but I'm picturing Tatum Channing.
Woo!
Tatum
Did it?
Tatum Channing.
Channing Tatum
Yes.
was not in that
Wait,
movie.
so you're saying Channing Tatum was
Channing
the-
Tatum was in Step Up,
Okay.
a very different dance movie.
Okay.
And I don't think it's good to compare them to gorillas.
Nope.
Especially
Nope.
when you're
I
saying
think,
Channing Tatum is the best
I
gorilla.
think you are on an island, my friend.
Me too.
Yes.
I also think it's not okay.
So let's talk about something that won't get you crucified. We had one more thing about Dennis Rodman.
If that's the thing that brings me down, boy, I was not. Have we done an official apology? Hey, I'm sorry, dancers. I don't think you guys are like gorillas at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you really smoothed that out.
Well, I didn't want to say an apology to somebody else and make it think that I was thinking about them.
Good call. That's thinking ahead. So we had one more thing. So Rodman did a bunch more shit. These were some of my favorite highlights, and this is one I think you're really gonna like. He got fined for shitting on Mormons. So that was one of the last things he did with
Literally.
the Chicago Bulls. Not literally shitting on them, but actually like making fun of them and complaining
kind of
about
way?
them. So he was fined $50,000 for disparaging comments about Mormons. They were playing the Utah Jazz in the
Right.
1998 NBA Finals. So he was complaining about the fans in Utah, which honestly, the fans in Utah are notoriously bad. Like a lot of players have came out and said,
Like they don't cheer loud?
no, like they like yell racial slurs at the opposing players
Yeah.
and shit like that. They talk about their personal lives. They get really kind of gnarly.
They also bring up gorillas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they probably thrown around a gorilla line
More-
once or twice. Their
I
own.
bet he only has one wife.
So Rodman Rodman came out and said something along the lines of like, it's hard to get in sync with all these fucking Mormons around. And then he had a chance to like apologize. They were like, that's kind of fucked up. And he doubled down. He's like, no, I don't fucking like the Mormons. So he got fined $50,000 for this.
I'm cool with it. That's
I
don't think it's that bad.
Absolutely no problem with that.
I don't think it's that bad.
I think if you're a nut job,
the reaction to it is hilarious to me. The reaction is way funnier than anything he said.
what is
about
the
it.
reaction?
That he got fined $50,000 from the NBA
he got
finals.
kicked. He kicked a dude in the dick.
Yeah, for 10 he got fined $25,000. So the biggest fine in the NBA was $25,000 to Dennis Rodman for kicking the guy in the dick, and then Dennis Rodman broke that record by saying it's hard to get in sync with all these fucking Mormons.
Do the Mormons secretly own the NBA? What's going on?
Well, I think part of it is they were starting to try to crack down on this like kind of offensive language. Earlier that year, the head coach of the New Jersey Nets, John Calipari, got fined $25,000 for calling a reporter a Mexican idiot during a press conference.
Was he Mexican?
He must have been.
He just cuts to this a fucking huge sombrero. Like, is this? This is. You don't even have grass on your court. You're a Mexican idiot.
Do
you think Kyrie was watching Dennis Rodman play at this time? Like, I'm going to beat it.
He was like, those guys are kind of idiots, but you know who's way dumber and more frugal.
It's a good thing I'm not an actor.
Right?
I watched that doc.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one.
Oh, the one that Kyrie put up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the worst documentary I've ever seen. I don't know if you know this,
I haven't
but
heard
like the
good
first
things.
40 minutes are advertisements. You go, oh, I think I'm watching the movie now. It's like, no, here's a different thing. And you're like, okay, I guess the movie's starting now.
For other anti-Semitism, yeah.
It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
One of my favorite things.
And I went to church my fucking entire childhood.
One of the reactions on the Rodman thing was the Salt Lake City branch of the NAACP came out and condemned his speech.
Saying what?
No, did you hear what I said?
Are there a lot of black
Salt Lake
Mormons?
City branch of the NAACP. It's got to be like two guys.
Yeah.
And they were not happy.
They were like, this is not okay.
It's Rachel Drozel's mom.
Yeah, right, it was. Basically, the Anti-Defamation League came out, and basically a bunch of people put pressure on Rodman to apologize. Rodman finally did apologize. Get this. Rodman finally apologized when he learned what a Mormon was. He thought Mormon was just another term for somebody from Utah. He didn't know it was a religious thing at all. He just thought that's what you called people from Utah.
That I like.
Isn't that amazing?
Wait, so
I was sitting here backing him.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's making some
He's
good
making
points.
a point. No, he just doesn't like people from Utah.
Yeah.
is that worse, though? Because Mormons are a smaller group. So he's like, I don't like Mormons. And they're like, no, that's not what that means. And he goes, oh, I take it back. I hate everyone in Utah.
Because I think it makes it better, because I think it makes it a thing where he's like, he was just trying to talk about Utah Jazz fans at the end of the day. I don't think he was trying to talk about a specific, like, religious sect, you know? So, yeah, I think not liking someone based on just, like, where they're from and what sport team they're supporting isn't nearly as bad as... Because athletes complain about fans all the time. You know, but if you were like, man, those fucking Muslims at the Miami Heat game every week, I can't stand them. Like, that's rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless those Muslims, those specific
Unless they're talking about DJ Khaled every week.
We're like yelling the worst shit ever.
Right. I guess so. But,
Put a headdress on your woman. You know, if they were yelling that,
yeah.
those fucking, if they were extremist Muslims who also like basketball, sure.
Yeah.
I could say, I think you could say that.
But yeah, Phil Jackson came out, the head coach came out, and he was just like, yeah, I don't think Dennis knows what a Mormon is. So that's why he hasn't apologized yet. But we don't really care. Like, the team didn't take any action towards him.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of groups that you can openly hate. And I want to admit something right now. I voted for Mitt Romney. I've been wrong before.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, They're part of America. That's us. So.
Yeah. It is. It's, it takes a village.
It started after America, right? Isn't that the whole thing with Mormonism?
Mormonism? Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
They think Jesus was in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jesus was in the United States when Jesus died and went to heaven. He didn't go to heaven. He went to the U.S.
Yeah. Heaven.
He went to Utah.
God bless America.
He went to, I think he did go to Utah or somewhere in Florida, I think, actually.
I can dig that.
For a couple of days.
I can dig that.
Then,
Though, I mean, he is Jewish. I could see him going to
I had a
Florida
Mormon
to vacation
sixth-grade
for a little
teacher.
bit,
And he just told me some wild ass shit, and I didn't realize that I was like, I thought I was learning history, but I was just learning Mormon indoctrination in 6th grade. And I was like, yeah, well, Native Americans were Jews. I thought that for the longest time. Anybody can be a teacher, is
That's
what
so
I learned.
Funny. So, yeah, Rodman wound up disparaging the Mormon people, later apologizing once he found out what a Mormon was. Again, didn't have a big impact on the NBA Finals. The Bulls still wound up winning the series. I think it was in 6 games. And that was his last season with the Chicago Bulls. That's where we're going to wrap up today, and we'll get into his life after basketball, which is where it gets really interesting because he becomes a Trump supporter and he becomes a best friend of Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
Best friend.
Mm-hmm. He says he's his best friend.
What do you think? They probably use WhatsApp.
Thick as thieves, yeah. Yeah, they're
Like,
tight. They were homies.
We were. Is that the one that died?
Yeah, I think. No, what didn't.
Kim Jong-un's still there.
Is Kim Jong-un still there?
Yeah, Kim
I don't
Jong-
know if they're still in
Kim
good
Jong-un
terms.
Il is the father. Kim Jong-un is the one that's
Yeah.
cool with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Who just loves movies.
Yeah. And he loves basketball.
Honestly,
he brought a bunch of old NBA players to North Korea, and they played a game.
Let's just say you're Kim Jong-un. Maybe we should talk about this later. But you're Kim Jong-un. You inherited North Korea. You're not going to change North Korea. What are you just going to open the borders?
Yeah, why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
Oh, you mean to Dennis Rodman open the borders?
No. If you were you're Kim Jong-un in this scenario. You inherited North Korea. What are you doing?
I'm sitting pretty.
I'm figuring out this nuke thing. I'm making that missile rockets, and I'm making movies.
Yeah. It sounds great. It sounds like a good
And I'm
life.
hating Seth Rogen the whole time.
And the entire time.
Yeah. Big time.
Do you think does he speak English?
Seth
Yeah.
Rogen?
Yeah. I can't understand a
That's
damn word
that's all he
says.
says.
I guarantee
Yeah, I
you
bet Kim
Dennis
Jong-un's-
Rodman doesn't know Korean.
Yeah. Well, they could easily have a translator. I bet he knows some English, yeah.
So if they have a translator, does that mean the translator is one of the best friends? Are they a trio?
Oh, they're like a little throuple.
Yeah.
Cute.
That would be pretty funny though if they had a translator and like Dennis says some wild shit and the translator's like, okay, I'm not gonna say that, but
He's like, you don't understand. He's gonna kill me if I say that you said that. Like,
I wonder if we would be better friends if we had a translator.
man. Jimmy, what are you?
Somebody who knew what I liked and what you liked, and just moderated it.
Yeah.
no. But here's the thing: I would just, if I was the translator, I would say everything that Colton says, and then Martin would look at him and go, "Surely he didn't say that."
Yeah, there's no way. You're not singing enough, Jimmy. I don't believe you.
Yeah, no. He said gorillas are. He said it.
Oh, man. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today. That's going to be part 2 of Dennis Rodman. We'll get into part 3 next week. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the good stuff. Spotify. Now we're on Spotify, so we have these audio episodes on audio if you want to listen to us while
They're
you
full
work.
video episodes on Spotify.
Full video episodes. Look at that.
Look at that. Go White Sox.
Go White Sox. Go Bucks. We're in the
Go
Bucks
White
shirt.
Sox.
Yeah, I think after all the gorilla comments, I wouldn't lay into white as hard as you are right now. I'd dial that back.
Go Black Sox.
Okay, well, that wasn't better.
Red Sox.
Just stop talking about socks.
Peace.
Cum Sox.